Don't I look kind of funny? It's Thanksgiving morning and I got like a mask on my face. I made myself some coffee and a cinnamon roll. I'm gonna chill, eat this, drink this, and then let's do a Q&A. Like my fuzzy robe? I'm totally in love with this little table that I made in our kitchen. It's like the perfect little spot to enjoy coffee and a little morning screen time. Alright, I'm back. So let's begin the Q&A. A little while ago on Instagram, I asked you guys if you had any questions. There's a lot of new subscribers around here, so I thought a Q&A would be a great way to get to know each other a little bit better. The first question comes from Gracie Gurley. What got you interested in blogging and making YouTube videos? How did you go about making it happen? That's a really good question. I got into blogging and all that stuff like a way long time ago, right when I got done with college, kind of. I wanted something that was like a creative outlet, like a lot of people do when they start blogging. And I was really into like fashion and style and stuff, which I still feel like I am, but in a totally different way than I was back then, where I was like experimenting with all these different outfits and looks. And of course I made a blog and put it all on the internet so people could see and you could archive that stuff for forever. It's funny to look back at some of like my old posts. Don't do it. But like the outfits I used to wear, I would have never worn those anymore. Like I would never wear half the stuff I wore when I started blogging. But how I went about making it happen, I don't know, I just jumped in and did it, I guess. I started all over the place. I like had a vintage store, I had all these random things that I thought was like going to be my career, or like those are my interests in blogging. I think a really cool thing about blogging is it helps you kind of fine tune and refine what you're interested in, and it's kind of just a place to experiment. So if you are thinking of starting a blog or a YouTube channel, honestly, like don't let perfection be the enemy of good enough and just do it. T-shirt and jeans asks, what are some of your favorite hair products for fall and winter? I actually don't really use that many hair products. Dry shampoo is a must-have in my life, so I pretty much wear dry shampoo every day because these bangs need dry shampoo or they'll go like all weird. My favorite is Batiste. I just like the clean, fresh smell. And then for hair products, I'm really into this like DIY hair serum growth thing that I've been putting on my scalp once a week. And I'm super into that. It's like really helped grow my hair. Maybe I should make a video about it. Give this video a thumbs up if you want to see some like beauty DIY stuff. But I've been trying to get more into like making my own beauty product. Sorry if that's a lame answer. Ruby X Cubes asks, what's your go-to pasta recipe? My go-to pasta recipe is one by The Colorful Kitchen, and it's like sweet potato mac and cheese. And I love it because you don't need to have soaked cashews, and it's a little less rich than a cashew-based mac and cheese, which are really good. But sometimes I just love the simplicity of this recipe by not having to have soaked cashews, and it's real good. She adds kale to her recipe. I like to add like broccoli to mine. We're not huge kale people in this house. I'll put kale in my smoothies, but outside of that, we just don't really love kale. I don't know, maybe I just don't know how to make it right. Meowcho2 asks, what are your favorite podcasts? I absolutely love listening to the TED Talk Radio Hour, that I love. And I feel like I'm such a newbie to podcasts. I don't know of like any really good ones. I have listened to the Startup School, I think it is, with something Corbin. This is a terrible answer. I was really into Serial when Serial was cool, and I don't know, I don't know any podcasts that are good, and so therefore I don't really listen to many. So I would love if you have some podcast recommendations. Write them down below. Bea Bello 150 asks, I'm a longtime follower of yours back to the Geisha Pearl days. I think I know who this girl is because I think I remember her commenting on a lot of my videos and things like way back in the day. Anyways, she said, what made you switch over from that channel? I miss your hair videos. Well, I had started another channel before this that was like a very hair focused video or channel, And like I said, I started vlogging and doing all these like entrepreneurial type of things. I had like a vintage store. I had like some hair accessory flower things I used to make like way back in the day. And so then I had a very hair dedicated YouTube channel. And I don't know, it just wasn't my thing. I guess I just let it fizzle out, and I felt like I was maybe emulating more beauty guru people back when like YouTube had like the beauty guru label. And I don't know, I just never felt like it was like authentically myself, which authentic is so overused on the internet. I don't know, it just kind of was like a phase in my life, and I just decided that I wanted to turn that YouTube channel off and start something fresh that was just me, like just my stuff. I don't know, does that make any sense? She follows up with, also, where do you get your home inspiration from, and where did you get your frames for your gallery wall, and where did you get your pictures printed? My inspiration for a lot of my home stuff is, I mean, I love Pinterest, but I mean, growing up, I loved decorating. Like, I used to make my mom let me repaint my bedroom every single summer. I always redecorated my room in the summer. Like, this started probably when I was like in 5th or 6th grade. I even convinced my mom one time to let me decorate the dining room, which I painted red, and I made these like Roman shades. I mean, I was probably in like 7th or 8th grade at that point, and I like DIY'd chairs and whitewashed them and sanded them a little bit and reupholstered the seats, and like I was so jazzed about like doing home stuff. I loved it. I mean, I would save up like my babysitting money and things to like buy new curtains for my bedroom. I was such a strange child. And she asked, where did I get my frames for my gallery wall? I kind of get them at a mix of places, like the thrift store. The wood ones that are in my gallery wall are from Pottery Barn. I love those ones. And then I really like Target's frames. I'm not a huge IKEA frame person because the depth of them are pretty significant. Like, their frames are pretty deep, and their mats are not like a true white color. They are yellow, and then they yellow over time. So I don't really love IKEA frames, but I have them. They're nice for like the really big ones because you can get a pretty big frame for pretty affordable. And I usually just ditch the mat. Jules in the Sky asks, how old are you? I am 29 and I'll be 30 in January. What do you do for your career? I work for my family company. We are like an online distributor of basement waterproofing products, which is like super, super, super niche. But I love working with my dad every day. I enjoy it. What has been the most frustrating thing about being a homeowner thus far? These are still from Jules in the Sky. I think for me, the most frustrating aspect of it is maybe kind of like how expensive things are. You have this idea of what you want to do, and then obviously you have to like rein it in within your budget. So really just kind of like truly learning how expensive it is to fix up things. Otherwise, I mean, I love being a homeowner. I love decorating, I love DIYing, I love redoing a lot of things and making things my own. I mean, like I said, as a kid, I used to like redecorate my bedroom every summer. So it's totally my jam to like own a house and be able to do that stuff. And then she follows up, my husband and I are about to search for our first home, and I'd love more advice on that. As you can tell, I'm very inquisitive. Haha, I love your channel. The home stuff has been my favorite to watch. Thank you. Home stuff is really fun to do. It's a little bit harder to create a lot of content for that because you obviously have to back it up with doing the work and paying for the work. But if you're looking for a house, my best advice is, Joel and I made a list of like each of our top 3 things, like the 3 things we really, really wanted in a house. And mine was kind of like a designated dining space, a really good flow to the house. I don't really know how else to explain it. And that was really important to me. And then a lot of like natural light, or like lots of windows. I wanted it to feel like bright in here, where I really feel like we get that. Like today's not that sunny outside. It's actually kind of overcast, and I don't have any lights like put up over here. I just have like the windows all open. And then don't settle. That would be my other thing for a tip for when you're buying your first house. We put an offer in on another house before we bought this place, and it was because we were sick of looking. We didn't want to like do the whole looking for a house thing anymore, and we were just kind of like ready to settle, but it didn't meet like all the things that we wanted to, and I think kind of knew we were settling. Anyways, they didn't accept our offer, which was like a blessing in disguise. And then we moved on, ended up finding this place. A lot of times when people are looking for a new home, they get to a point where they're just sick of looking for a house and they're ready to just be done. And so they've just put an offer in on a house that they maybe sort of are like, well, I can make this work, I guess. Don't do that. Wait it out. You'll like get what you want. House hunting is, it's fun, but then it's exhausting, but then it's exciting, but then it's a lot of work. But I don't know, stick in there. There's a lot of satisfaction in like owning and knowing that this is your space. EH Stacy writes, love your channel, awesome content, thank you. So happy it's growing, me too. What are some YouTube channels or sources of inspiration you look to? I love YouTube. I love watching other YouTubers. Some of my favorite people to watch would be, I love Ellie Cherry, Casey Neistat, he's just like the shit, really. I like the Philip DeFranco show. I think that's kind of cool. Who else do I subscribe to? I love Hot for Food, Lauren Toyota. I love her. Mr. Kate is amazing. I love Estee. I just like her. She's just like relatable. Like I just want to be her friend. Who else? Claire Marshall, I love her. I wish she uploaded more. The Edgy Veg. There's so many amazing people on YouTube, but it's hard to find them, I think. I think that YouTube does a horrible job of making it easy to find good content. A lot of times you find it, like you don't usually find it from like the suggested feed from YouTube. I think they do a terrible job of that. Usually it's like you find somebody on Instagram or somebody mentioned somebody else in a video that you watch and then you find out about new channels. So I'll list down in the description below like a bunch of channels that I just really, really love. I think it's Kate or Kat Lindsay. What has been the best and worst part about renovating a home? I think the best part is seeing your vision all come together, like especially our kitchen. It went from a really, really ugly place to what I think is a very beautiful place, probably my favorite room in the house. Worst part is just how much everything costs. It sucks. I wish everything was just way cheaper than it is. She said, I think you mentioned that Joel isn't vegan. How do you guys manage that? I make only vegan food in the house. Joel is super supportive. He eats whatever I make and enjoys it, so that's cool. There's just two other questions. What are some of your favorite vegan recipes and sources? I love the blog Oh She Glows, Minimalist Baker, and Hot for Food. Those are like probably my top three like vegan sources for recipes, food inspiration. I love those. And then she says, any tips for thrifting? Just go often. Jims88, what steps would you recommend to someone wanting to transition to veganism? You know what? Maybe I'm just gonna do a video like all about veganism because I've been vegan now for about a year and a half. Before that I was vegetarian for, I don't know, like 4 or 5 years or something like that. Maybe I should just do a dedicated video to that. What do you think? Good? Bad? Good? All right, I think I'm gonna end the Q&A here. Hopefully this video isn't ridiculously long. It might be, I'm sorry. Thanks for watching at this point, to this end of the video, or to the end of the video. There's also a good handful more questions in here, and some of them I feel like would make a good specific, like a one topic video. Like someone writes their my favorite spots in Minnesota, which would be a cool video. How do you strategize and plan out decorating your rooms, which I think would be a really fun solo video. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna do a couple videos that kind of spawn off from some of your guys' questions that you gave me on Instagram. If you aren't following me on Instagram, go follow me on Instagram. If you aren't subscribed to this channel, I would love if you subscribed, and I will see you guys in my next video. I'm making lasagna for Thanksgiving today. It's always tricky being a vegan and bringing stuff. If you want to bring something that's not just a side, that'll fill you up, but that you can also share and people will actually like and not think that like vegans only eat like lettuce or kale. So I gotta go make that. Oh, perfect timing. It's 11:30. We have to leave at 1:30. Gives me 2 hours to do this. I'm excited. I think I've had too much coffee. I've had a cup and a half. Now I feel like I'm like, brrr.